Warning. The following podcast contains explicit language, honest opinions and a sense of humor. Welcome to the Brothers Take.
Hello everyone and welcome to another bonus segment of the Brothers Take. I'm Chris, joined by my brothers Adam and Eric.
Hello.
Oh.
And we are back
Why
in
do we
the
do
room.
that all the time?
What? Do what?
On time, all the time. Our hellos. Like, I always pause it a little bit just to see if Eric can just say hello first, and then it's not like we're jinxing each other every time.
It's like years of bad luck. 2020 can be blamed on Adam and Eric saying hello at the same time every
That's
time. It's like the day they break that chain is the day we get out of this mess. We are back in the room to give our hands-on impressions and to finally talk about, I say finally, but I mean, it hit Europe later than everywhere else. We're here to talk about the PS5, which we've been building up to. And we thought it'd be a good idea to do a bonus segment because there's also only so much we can say at this time. It's a hands-on impressions. We have, there's a lot more we still have to do with the console. And as more games come out, we see how it all pans out in terms of new functions and stuff. But we definitely wanted to give a segment to talk about how we're finding it so far. We've all had a go at it, and we all tried out the built-in game Astro's Playroom, which is we'll talk about that as well because that's a tech showcase. I think anyway. I feel like that's the whole purposes of that game, but it does have some other interesting things in it which we can talk about too. So as we're talking about this, if you have a PS5 and you have any experiences with it, and you're watching this on YouTube, jump down in the comments, let us know what you think of the PS5 so far. You can also let us know about what you think about the Xbox Series X if you have that console, and we can do a bit of comparisons back and forth of what does what. If you're listening to us on audio platforms, get in touch with social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take. Same thing. Let us know how you're getting on with these new consoles. But if you're just curious about the consoles and you have any questions or anything, you can also get in touch. We'd love to, and it might be something we haven't figured out yet, and we'll go, hey, I'll try that out for you. I'll see if that works or see if it does that. Without further ado, let's talk PS5.
Pro.
What?
PS5 Pro.
The PS5 Pro. Do you think there will be a PS5 Pro?
Slim. Fucking hope not.
No. There's always new additions to these things, though, eventually down the line.
A Slim. I can imagine there being a Slim. I think there definitely will be a Slim.
Yeah.
I think me and Chris were joking about, what the oh no, actually, I'll leave for the actual chat.
Yeah, this is the chat.
Oh, we're on it now.
Yeah. We're here now.
Oh,
right. We're recording, Eric.
Oh,
yeah.
recording.
Did you not know? This is a Skype call. I'll leave it for the actual chat.
In the room with me?
What were you about to say?
I was about to say that, like, when we were using the actual controller. So that's I think the first thing I'm going to talk about anyway is the controller, because that's a technological marvel in my opinion. It's like one of the greatest.
The controller blew my mind.
Huh?
Controller absolutely blew my mind.
First thing I'm going to is the haptic feedback, because everyone kept mentioning the haptic feedback, and I was like, that sounds cool, but I have no idea what it is. And you see even YouTube videos, and people are like, oh, check out this game with haptic feedback. And I'm like, it looks like a good looking game, but I'm not too sure what the haptic feedback is. Which, to be honest, if you are watching a YouTube video that has something to do with, I don't know, the Miles Morales game and haptic feedback, you're not going to know what the fuck you're on about, because it's all to do with the controller, because the controller has vibrations and weight mechanics in it so you can feel particular like rain or hail, or you can feel marbles rolling around in some sort of puzzle. But me and Chris were joking about it, and like, for people who are playing like Demon Souls or something, is that every time you get hit by like swords, the little blades come out of the controller and stab you and stuff.
Yeah, really immerse you in the experience. I was in a similar boat. Every time someone was talking about haptic feedback and like singing its praises, I was like, Cool. I don't know what that is. And to be honest, nobody can explain to you what that feels like. You have to just, if you get a PS5, no matter what game you're excited to play on it, park that for a second. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Park that for a second. The first thing you should do once that PS5 is booted is put on Astro's Playroom. And it will show you what this thing is capable of, which is really the point of that thing. But I was laughing while trying to blow into the controller to get a fan to move, which made my character move on. I was like, what the hell? And then picking something up, but then the controller becomes the thing that you picked up, and you can move that around and look at it, and it's like, what the hell? Why do I suddenly feel like I'm holding a PlayStation 3? I'm not in VR, but it kind of feels like I am. It's insane. The haptic feedback is, like, they didn't sing its praises enough, actually. I have to be honest. It's crazy.
You see, I think the reason they didn't is because, like, the Nintendo Switch has haptic feedback, you see.
Right. And I actually seen someone compare it. They said, like, this is kind of like PlayStation and a Nintendo mashup in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I do think the Duel Sense obviously is way more immersive than the Joy-Cons, but the haptic feedback is very similar. It's just that the DualSense has extra stuff that makes it feel better. For example, I think like the haptic feedback's great, you know, but it's with the speaker. That's what makes it really stand out, because you're getting the sound of the rain or the sound of walking on steel along with the feel with it. Yeah. As well as the triggers. Like the fact that there's actual resistance on the triggers. So that's where it's a step above the Switch's controller. But I think that's interesting, because like Eric, you have the Switch, but you obviously have never noticed the haptic feedback, and it's because there's really only one game that takes advantage of the haptic feedback on the Switch, and that is 1-2 Switch, which is a horrendous tech demo of a game. Like, but it's like 60 quid for this tech demo, and it's brutal. But there is one little kind of game mode in it where you have to guess how many marbles are in the controller. So you have to move it like this, and you can actually genuinely feel it. It actually feels like little metal balls rolling around in the controller. So that I've always been blown away by the haptics, and I was like, this is something that really should catch on. And unfortunately, no game devs were taking advantage of it on the Switch. And I think it's likely because a lot of the Switch games are third-party, they be ports. Why would you spend all your time trying to make immersive feedback for a handheld console when you're focusing mostly on the PS4 and the Xbox One, which only have the traditional rumble features?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of time and resource taken away. Now, though, that PlayStation has stepped in and also integrated this tech, we're probably going to see a lot more immersive kind of vibration features in games.
I mean, I lost sleep last night just thinking about the possibilities, because I was like, imagine what Hideo Kojima is going to do with this shit.
Yeah, that would be... that would be...
You know, I got flashbacks
exactly
to like PS1 and him taking advantage of everything it could do, and that was pretty limited, but it was still amazing what he pulled off. And I'm like, now, like, I mean, I walked on a PlayStation logo in Astro's Playroom, and it was steel as opposed to the rest of the floor, and ting, 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 and I was like, what the fuck?
Because imagine with, like, if he does make, let's say, another Death Stranding or a game like that, where, like, you can feel each step and you can feel the difference of walking through mud and then onto grass and then gravel and feeling the weight of all the cargo on you, like, that's gonna be sick, bruv.
Yeah.
It's gonna.
But even like there was like hailstones, and there was like it wasn't just like the controller was vibrating like a dual shock would, to let you know that there's something going on or whatever. Like it was little individual vibrations happening at different points, like nearly in time, or at least it seems in time with the hailstones that are falling on screen.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like it. I think it's incredible. I was
It
absolutely
is great.
blown away.
I'm
by it.
wondering, will it ever get to a point where it'll feel like, will it go into the background a little bit, like with future games? Will it get to a point where you're just kind of like, this is so normal now, and will it lose its
Maybe.
magic, or will it continuously surprise? I'm hoping that it will continuously surprise. Like, I can only imagine what playing Ragnarok is going to be like, charging up the Leviathan axe before you throw it, kind of stuff, or pulling back the bow in Horizon Forbidden West. Like, that's going to be.
There's a
And the
lot
different
of
surfaces, especially in Horizon, like the different locations you kind of go to, whether it's jungle, sand, or whatever, all of them are going to feel different. Just moving through the foliage in stealth, you're going to feel the plants as you move past them. Like, it's going to be crazy.
I
think it's better than, like,
literally can't wait.
I think, like, this is was the right step to go, was to focus so heavily on this kind of immersive tactile feel with games, because there's only so much you can do with, like, resolution and stuff, you know. Like, if you keep going, oh yeah, like at the moment the 2 boxes can do 8K, it's like great, but like there's only so much before it's like
You've reached the pinnacle.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
8K is only important if you've got like a ridiculously large television sitting very close to it, and so that way you don't see the pixels. But like, if you sit like a normal distance with a normal size television, that's not going to matter at all.
No, not really.
Same with the 120 frames thing. Like, I was playing, like, I think with some games it's going to be really important, but I was playing Miles Morales a little bit, and I was kind of hopping between the fidelity mode and the performance mode. And fidelity would have the higher, like, graphical fidelity, obviously, with the better reflections and stuff. I actually put out a picture where it's showing the reflections in one of his suit. Like,
I've seen it. I like
genuine reflections.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just baked into it. Like, that was actually, like, if I turn the camera, those reflections change. Or you can do performance mode, which plays the game 60. Now, for some, obviously, the option's there for whatever version you prefer. Fidelity's in 30 frames, performance is in 60. I found the 60 frames just weird. I don't know why. I found it. It's not. You know, I've played games at 60 before. It's not that I don't like 60 frames. Obviously, I do. But for something like Spider-Man, which to me is quite a cinematic game, I quite like the cinematic feel of the 30 frames in that. That's just me personally. So
yeah. No, I've been playing it the same way.
Yeah, so, I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm as hyped about higher resolutions and frame rates as much as I am with this kind of more immersive, what they did with the controller and what they did with the. I haven't tried out the 3D audio yet, but I'm really looking forward to trying that out.
Yeah, definitely. So just before we go any further in terms of like the actual experience in the PlayStation and then maybe more Astro's Playroom, because I suppose that shows us what the console and controller are capable of for future games. Adam, how did you feel when you unboxed it for the first time and actually saw it in person?
Well, firstly, I think I really wish Sony, not that it really matters, but
it does to you.
If you're spending that much money, like, I think they could have upped their game with the packaging. I really do. Like, if you look at the Xbox and the way it's presented, it doesn't matter which version you get. The way you open it up and it's like it's slanted at an angle, and the way it's presented to you, it's almost wrapped like a little gift.
Mm-hmm.
The way you package your product, I think, says a lot about how you treat your customers and stuff. Like, I mean, like, for years, Apple has always been the king at like product packaging, and nearly every single company now has put the same focus in because it matters. It genuinely matters. There's like hundreds of unboxing videos. Yeah. You know, like there's been like people's YouTube channels have been built around just packaging and unboxing experiences. Whereas PlayStation's is just it's the same as what the way the PS4 was wrapped. It's like, there's the box, and then here's your console wrapped in a piece of plastic, and it was a bit, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree there. I don't think the packaging was in any way impressive or like. I'd gotten a new phone at the same time, and I have to say, opening the phone was presented better. You know, that kind of what you were like. Yeah, I think you're right. The whole thing is like a gift box. It's a lot of money, like what you've just paid for. So it'd be nice that when you open it, it looks like it's like this was well presented and well looked after. Because also it's like there's 2 bits of like cardboard, and then just plastic wrapping around it.
Yeah.
And that's all that's holding this thing, and you're like, please put more in there. But then maybe it's an environmentally friendly thing, cutting down on the amount of recyclables. I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
packaging wasn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's about an environment as much as it is. I think it is about cutting cost.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's like, they've obviously put a lot of like the controller alone. There's a lot of tech in it. That thing is expensive to research, probably expensive to manufacture. So they have to cut costs somewhere, and it's packaging is one of them.
Yeah, well, I suppose they're like, what is in the long run the least important thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's not actually that important, but
yeah,
I think when you're,
yeah,
when you launch a machine like that and your competitor is putting effort into it, it kind of makes you look like you're cheaping out a bit.
Yeah, right.
That's all.
And how about then when you took it out and you saw it for the first time?
When I took it out, then I thought that everyone was over exaggerating a little bit about how big it was, because I was like, I don't know. When I took it out of the box, I was like, I was expecting this to be a bit bigger. And then I connected it to its stand and put it beside my TV, and I just stood there laughing at it. It is comically large.
It is very big.
Like, out of the box, you're like, whatever, but it's when you actually place it.
Yeah.
And like my Xbox One S is right next to it, and it's just like this is ridiculous. Like, I think the PS3 is as big as consoles should ever get, really.
Right.
Like, I never had a problem with how big that was. I really loved that console and how it looked. But this thing is like, it's. I really loved the look of the PS5 and the Series X when they were first announced. Design-wise, I loved the two of them. I thought they were really great, unique design points for the specific design challenge that they were going for, which is a lot of power, keeping the thing cool and stuff. But in person, both of them are just like design disasters, I think. Like,
okay,
they're like, the Xbox has like the worst fucking plastic design on the thing, that if you touch it, it just looks like a greasy bag of chips. And the PS5 is like, if that was the size of the PS4 Pro, it would be a lovely, sleek design. But it's the size of a fucking PC. Like, this thing is huge. They badly need a slim model. Definitely.
Already?
Yeah. Like, I just can't fathom like why it's that big. I just don't know why it needs to be that big. Like, obviously there's like cooling solution and all that kind of stuff, but
yeah.
I guarantee that like there's going to be a slim model, and it's going to be fine. So
Yeah,
I think they took kind of a nuclear approach with the cooling.
Maybe, yeah. Eric, what do you think, having seen it in person and seeing a setup? Do you think
I think
big,
I had the same reaction with Adam, where I was a bit like, this is definitely not as big as what I thought it was going to be. But it was, Chris, when you set it up and you see it, and it's like, I think you set it up on like a coffee table sort of thing or something.
Yeah, I had a table then beside the TV unit because I have no space on the TV unit for it.
So it was a little bit lower, like where the TV unit ended. So it was like that's where your coffee table thing was. That's where the TV unit was. Then you had the TV, and then the PlayStation was still reaching up like halfway up the TV. And I was like, that's such a ridiculous. Like, it was ridiculous. But the thing that annoyed me with the design, which Chris,
okay,
yeah, right.
So Chris, hold on, okay. So the Eric popped over to get a few photos and to have a look at the console, and I was when you set it up, which is awesome, it goes, would you like to insert a disc, and we'll install it while the setup is happening. And Eric,
yeah,
awesome. So I opened the case and I took out the disc and I went to this. I went, Eric, wait till you see this. You ready for this? This is going to drive you crazy.
Right.
And I turned the disc and he went, what are you doing? Why are you putting the disc in wrong? And I was like, I'm not. I
know.
Because that's the bottom.
This is what I was saying. Remember when we were playing Legends, Ghost of Tsushima Legends with Brian, actually?
Yeah.
I brought this up that time. I was like, the one thing that's going to drive me nuts with the PS5, and I asked Bodies, is like, which way do you think the disc should face when we're putting it in?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if it's vertical, you think shiny side towards
You would
the
think
console.
that.
But then because of the way it sits, the disc drive is underneath, so it has to be shiny side down. So the way you put the disc in is like, it's uncomfortable.
Like even with that, right? With the design, you have the yoke. Yeah, so you're looking at it, the disc tray thing is there. Yeah. So the image on the disc should be pointing that way, right? The shiny bit pointing that way.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're saying that it lies down on top of
the disc tray
would be the disc drive, yeah.
Instead of the disc drive being on the other side, right?
Which is what they usually did. The disc tray would be on the top side. And also because of the shape of it, it goes down and then like that.
Yes.
Now it's wonky when you have it lying it down.
No, that's why that's what the stand is for. You see, the stand will work either way. The stand will actually... So where the disc drive is, the stand will nearly go on not so much the other end, but the other side where there is no disc drive, right, and kind of balance it out. But yeah. Because plenty of people, I think, when they first get it, they put the disc in as they would expect it to go in, and then they go, "Wait, why is my PlayStation not working?" Because it'll go, "Can't read disc."
Yeah, there's already been a few people online actually. Like, if you have to Google how to put a disc into your console, like, it's a clear design flaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree, which is there. The positioning of the disc drive is
incorrect.
It's yeah, it is incorrect. It's stupid.
I have to laugh about it though, because I was like, okay, like, this feels wrong and stupid, but obviously if it lies down that way, the disc has to go in that way.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't really a case of looking it up. Really,
I also think, like, I have found it very difficult to, take the disc out, like, put my finger, like, I normally put my finger through the hole and take it. It
feels counterintuitive, doesn't it?
Yeah, because it's kind of like in the way. Yeah. Like, on the opposite side, it curves so that you have enough room to put your finger there. Like, it genuinely feels wrong. It would have been great if they managed to make like a multi-way disc reader. That would have been cool.
Wow, that would have been amazing.
Maybe they're like trying to just show, like, Western people this is what, like, Japan has to put up with or something, because of the fact they always go from right to left.
Oh, right, with like manga and stuff.
Yeah, because we always go left or right. They're like, look, this is what we have to put up with.
Maybe they're used to it. Yeah, I don't know. I must say, when I took it out and saw it physically, it is large. I'd agree. But I still really like the design. I think it's sleek. I think it's cutting edge. I think it looks like a new console. It doesn't just look like it's got...
Yeah, its look is nice.
It looks great. It's just a fucking disc drive for me. The rest of it looks great. It looks like this. It looks like the fucking new car. I think we said that before or something.
Yeah.
Eric, would you be more inclined to go digital edition?
Well, no, I've already got the disc version. Oh, of course I'm going disc version. I have to get the disc version. You have to have discs. You know what I mean? Get those cases and get those awesome booklets.
Well, for the backwards compatibility.
It seems as though it is the version that's selling the most.
Yeah.
And some people actually have been opening up their digital editions to find there was a disc version inside.
Oh.
They got the disc version for only, like, what was it, 400 quid for that?
Yeah. That's right. Wow.
Yeah.
Are they happy about it?
Yeah,
they're over the moon. You should be. You really should be if you get it. It does both. God damn it! This is not what I ordered. Imagine. So how about, obviously we had seen the UI before when it was revealed, but when you first turned it on, what did you think? Having used the UI now, how do you feel about the way it's laid out?
I really like how it's laid out. I always kind of had, like, I didn't mind the PS4s, but I always felt it lacked, like, some sort of intuition, kind of, like, this immediate response between the user and its interface. I always kind of preferred the XMB, although not as fancy I just preferred the XMB in terms of just getting to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And this kind of feels like a combination of the two. In fact, many about the PS5 feels like everything they learned about the PS4 and then everything that was good about the PS3 and kind of slammed them together. Like PS5 reminds me quite a lot of PS3 heritage. So there's a bit in there, a bit like the XMB, but I did have to Google some things. There are some things that I just did not know how to do, and that's the problem. Like I would have preferred if the control center, like all the options that's in it, if those options were also available on the home screen, just so that things aren't in two different locations.
Okay.
So at the moment on the home screen, you've got your games, you got your media, and then I think it's settings and profile.
Yes.
There should be more options all along that top bar, I think.
I think there were things I was looking for that I couldn't necessarily find very quickly, very easy. But I must say, overall, I have adapted to this UI much quicker than I did to the PS4's UI when I first. I like. Maybe I was just stupid. I don't know. But when I first turned on the PS4, I was fucking lost. I hadn't have a fucking clue where I was going or what I was doing or how to do half the shit it can do till like a year or two after the fucking thing. Like, I knew how to get to the game I just put in, but like beyond like the other features that I hadn't a fucking notion. Even how to get into recorded media, I was like, what?
You only found out about SharePlay this year?
Yeah. No, I only used it really this year. I'd found out about it before, but I was like, what the fuck would you use it for? That's the point. And then I was like, oh, this is actually cool. So yeah, I found that this one I've adapted to it a lot quicker.
Yeah, so I think it's like for a redesign and stuff, I think they did a really, really good job. And obviously it can only go up from here.
Yeah, like, I mean, we know there's going to be updates. There always is.
Yeah.
Stuff is going to be added or changed or whatever.
There's a few things I would like to see, but I imagine they will add them, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so let's...
For a second there, I thought you just said your name at the end. Instead of saying add them, I thought you just went, I think they will add them.
I think they will add them. 2020. So,
that's very funny.
Somebody, if you ever think they're going to add shit to it, just know that Adam said it first. It's been cited here today. Am I John? Okay, so
if Sony ever makes anything new, I said it first.
Yeah, that's it.
Called it.
Yeah, called it. It's like as soon as they announce something at all, anything, it's just like I told you they were going to do that. Didn't I tell you? Naive.
I should have put money on it.
Yeah, Paddy Power. Was Astro's Playroom the first thing you played on it?
Yes, actually it was.
Yeah? Okay,
yeah.
Same
it's
with
the
us,
first game I've completed on it.
Okay, I haven't fully completed it, Jesus. But
this morning.
I would highly recommend, because I don't know if everyone will give it a go, because it might be just like, yeah, whatever, it's a free little game. Absolutely do that before you do anything else.
It's genuinely a good game.
It's a good game and it's a tech showcase, but then also, if you've happened to own PlayStations before,
nostalgia all the way.
I am a sucker for nostalgia, especially when it's set up really well. And fucking hell, I couldn't believe it. Like the little details in it, even like things like the tight ropes being the fucking the leads from the PS1, like going up platforms that are either PS1 memory cards or the fucking triggers off a PS4 controller.
Yeah.
There was so much stuff in it. That's just like, there was even like a door that was the directional pad.
Wait
till no, we got to...
Oh, you completed it?
Yeah, no, we completed it last night. We got all four consoles.
Four consoles, and then I don't know how much more is involved in it. And then, and Eric wouldn't have seen this, but I went back into a thing that was like, there's something in the base.
Oh yeah, that's fucking amazing. That's amazing.
I didn't see it.
And yeah, I don't want to spoil it for anyone. That I genuinely don't want to spoil it for anyone. But when you get to that point,
why you shut one of Miles Morales and not go down to the basement, you bastard?
Well, because that doesn't happen until you leave the game and come back to it. Like it didn't activate until. But yeah, when you go down to that basement, and then there's something else that happens, and it's really, really good, really good, especially if you had a PS1.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
a
all.
serious trip down memory lane.
It's a fucking.
Where's my PS5?
Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah,
What's your favorite reference in?
Well, Chris kind of zipped through the game, so we didn't see many references.
okay.
well, I wasn't trying to zip through it. I just wanted to. Actually, I thought by going through it, we'd see as many references as possible
No.
by getting each console. You know what I mean? You know, you're trying to unlock each console, and I was.
Yeah. Well, I mean the little
that
bots
aspect, but-
reenacting the games.
Yeah, it's a puzzle platformer essentially, but as you're playing through, there's loads of little bots around the place, and you'll see every so often there's a bot with a camera, and whatever they're filming or videoing, it's like they're making a game, and you can have a look and see which game they're acting out based on whatever costumes or poses or whatever it is they're doing. And there's loads in it. There's absolutely
so
loads.
funny. Some of them as well are kind of hard to spot because they're kind of like, you know, up on a high platform. You need to turn your camera to actually view them and stuff like that. They're not all on your path. A lot of them are way off the beaten path. Some of them are really, really funny.
There was one we were trying to figure out, and it was like it was a drawing on a wall. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, it's
And there was a big like snake looking thing, and loads of guys with swords and a flag.
Spear and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, I don't know what that's supposed to be.
the graffiti one. Is that what you're saying? The graffiti?
It's in the jungle
a drawing on a wall.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Oh right. Well, it depends. There's two, I think.
It's sort of like it looks like a caveman style drawing.
Oh right.
Kind of thing, and it's like a big snake thing that has the bot face.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, they're referencing something then because they've put
I'm
the
not
bot
sure
thing
then.
on it, but I wasn't sure. We couldn't really make out which game it was, but yeah, there was lots of really good ones.
There was that one. There was another one as well on the, like the sunny beach area. If you swim in the water to the right, there was a guy doing a painting, and it looked like all these people were trying to guess what it was. I didn't know.
Yeah, that one is Concrete Genie.
Okay.
I don't know that one.
And
there's a bunch in there that I wasn't really sure of. Like I saw
bird
one.
one as well in the sky.
I
In
think
the cloud.
Is that The Last Guardian?
I think that's the Last Guardian. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it is.
It's all
And,
PlayStation exclusives, isn't it?
No, because I came across Pyramid Head.
Oh, I saw your picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Cool.
That was that's cool.
Resident Evil was in there and Tomb Raider was in there. Like, there's loads of shit. It's not just exclusives. I think it's loads of games that meant quite a lot to PlayStation fans. But yeah, there's so much shit, and there's some like worse stuff as well where you're not really, unless you have a clear history with PlayStation, you're probably not going to get them.
I think my favorite one was because some of the obvious ones are cool because you see them and you go, oh my god, that's that, and it's like cool. But I think my favorite one was there was one that we saw, and there was a safe and a guy with a blue hat and a little domino mask, right? And he gets into the safe, and then he pops out and takes a little gold thing and goes back into the safe.
Yeah.
And we were like, all right, so that's definitely something. So what is it? And it's like, it's a blue hat and a safe. Like, it could be anything. And only for if you just quickly notice the gold thing before he takes it in and notice the shape of it, you go, oh my god, it's Sly Raccoon.
Yeah. Like Uber.
I thought that was a really cool one.
Yeah. There's some really. There was one that I couldn't get at all. It was this person in what looked like kind of a trench coat, and they had this like rod that was like electric rod, and there's two people coming at him, and he's like electrocuting them and stuff. That one I just couldn't at all. I managed to get most of the references throughout, but that's the one I just haven't a clue what that one was.
I don't know.
But they are fun. Like, they're really, really fun. I saw like there's one is on the jungle, but if you look in the background, you can see Days Gone, the guy being chased on a motorcycle.
Oh, I didn't see that one. We
Yeah.
saw the Uncharted one. We saw Shadow of the Colossus as well.
Yeah.
Infamous as well. Remember that one?
Yeah, Infamous and
There's so many.
I only spotted it because Chris was like looking around or something, so he was turning his, and then I just saw a guy zipping on a zip line like.
But just the the different ways it gets you to use the controller
Mm-hmm.
to play out different parts of it. Now, some of them, like, it was like it's impressive, but it's like I wouldn't want to play a whole game like this. Do you know what I mean? Like for example, there's one where you get inside a monkey robot, and you climb with the triggers, but you have to turn the controller to actually control each arm.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, this is fine for like 5 minutes, but I wouldn't like if there was a whole game like this, I would hate it. But that doesn't take away.
Yeah, which is your least favorite of the kind of the
I
secondary?
only used 2 of them. I only used the monkey and the slinky.
Okay.
So out of those 2, the slinky was my least favorite.
Yeah, it was quite slow, wasn't it?
I thought it was fine, but I think that section went on too long.
Yeah.
So that's more to do with like the pacing of that little game as opposed to the functionality of how that works. I thought it worked well, and at first I was like, whoa, like it took me ages to get the hang of it actually, because I really wasn't getting how much you had to move it. And as soon as, I suppose you're so used to analogs, it was like to try and remove myself from the analogs. It was really hard. Even like there was one where you had to like, as the slinky actually, when you have to like turn the controller in the direction you want to go and then hold down the trigger and let go. And I just kept trying to use the analogs to tilt him in the direction. I just like I couldn't help myself. It took me a while to just go for it with the little rocket. You know when you're in the little rocket?
That's my favorite one.
I enjoyed that one, I have to say, with that boss fight. we died so many times.
Oh, really?
I would have.
It took us so long to get used to the
rage quitted with that. That was horrible.
No, I thought it was cool though. I did enjoy the rocket, because as well, as soon as you get used to the whole thing of like you could just hold one of the triggers and you have a little bit more control, and depending on how much you push down on it will depend on, you know, how fast you go and stuff. It's really the use of the controller is so innovative, like it's crazy.
I think this is how you like launch a console. Like there has to be something that kind of celebrates the lineage and the machine itself. Like I would love to see more of this type of game. Well, forward.
I actually said that to Eric as we were playing Astro's Playroom. I was like, they should do this with every console. Like,
yeah, like I mean, they kind of did with the 4. There was the Playroom, you know, and they had those little bots in it, and it was to demonstrate what the controller could do, but it was a much smaller experience. And then they had the Playroom VR, and those little bots were back as well, and it was to demonstrate the VR with little exercises and stuff. That one wasn't as too bad. But they have Astro Bot Rescue Mission, which is a VR game. It's supposed to be the best game on PSVR.
Wow.
Definitely going to fucking pick that up because at the moment it's on sale.
But I don't even just mean PlayStation. I mean, every console should do something.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it would have been cool. Like,
crazy.
Yeah. Could you imagine like something similar with like if you took if Microsoft with the Xbox released a game that was a bit like in terms of style, maybe using the Xbox avatars.
Yeah.
And like just going through Xbox history.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe the first level is like you're starting out on the Halo ring, and like you're going through different, and you'd have like sections of it like Alan Wake and stuff, and like it would have been so cool to have something similar.
It just makes you feel the lineage of it, and then makes you feel like, look where we are now. Look at this, and this. Look, I'm blowing into a controller. I couldn't stop laughing while doing that. I was like, "This is just."
That is a Nintendo thing, though. That is a Nintendo thing. Because
fair enough. I didn't know that.
I remember on the DS, one of the Zelda games, you had to blow out like there was like a puzzle to get through a dungeon. You had to blow out the flames, and in most Zelda games, you use your boomerang to do that. But in this one, you genuinely had to blow out the flames, so you just had to blow into the microphone. And that blew them out. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But this is such a Nintendo-style game, I think.
Yeah, I felt that. I really felt that.
Especially with the ridiculous boss fight.
Yeah, it was like a Nintendo game, just with PlayStation's lineage. Like it was really like a PlayStation Nintendo mashup kind of a thing. Yeah. It's I don't know. I'm really excited about what's to come and what studio. Like we might not see. obviously this was a huge showcase of haptic feedback and what the new console is capable of, right? So it was like layered and layered with stuff and showing you everything it could do. Not every game is going to be this full on, I wouldn't say. You know,
No, I can imagine
like a 30-hour
platformers
game
could
is
be,
not going to be like this the whole way.
I think platformers could. Like, I can imagine the next Ratchet and Clank will have like that level of stuff. And like that's the thing is like I don't care for
That sounds way
platformers.
better now.
I haven't actually cared about platformers since PS1. Like with PS2, I just didn't play them. PS3, I still didn't care for them. PS4, like I like the indie style ones, but I didn't really like the big publisher ones. This makes me excited for platformers again because there's something else to add to the overall experience.
I think
that one's gonna be great.
I'm really excited for, like, as much as I enjoyed the surfaces and using the controller to move or whatever. I'm so excited just for like those real immersive narrative games and how eventually, like, we might not see it for a year or whatever, but eventually them utilizing that feeling of different surfaces and different weather in your hands.
Yeah,
That was the
and
bit
even
that
just,
really
even just
got me.
thinking back on games in the past that made you do difficult things, and or you know there was certain like I'm Heavy Rain when you had to cut your finger off to complete a trial. Could you imagine that with the trigger on the Duel Sense and there's the genuine tension of trying to cut through the bone? Like things like that will be.
I love that, like for Christmas, like it'd be cool to have like the rain and the snow and you can feel it. Adam, it'd be great when you get the safety scissors. You gotta beat them down through your finger.
I wanted to resist, man. I wanted to resist.
But it was like that.
Right.
Like
you're right.
Sometimes I'm like when I'm using those triggers, I'm like they feel broken. Like in certain cases, like there's genuine resistance, and then it goes, and it's like. Sometimes it just feels odd with those because I'm just not used to it.
I know. It was even like when
they're so well done.
For example, in Astro's Playroom again, you know, when you're pulling out one of those things and there's many things you have to pull, and you can feel it pull with you.
Yeah.
You know, you actually are pulling against something. I was like, this is ridiculous. And then even just that very quick, you know, as soon as you turn it on and the controller builds in your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that feeling alone, that was ridiculous. That was crazy. I don't know. I'm blown away. I really am blown away.
Yeah, it is. It's like I do think the controller steals the show.
Yeah, but it doesn't work without the console. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
Like it's a feature of it in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I don't know if I have anything else to say at this point. To be honest, it's going to come now down to when we play more and more games on it, and also like putting PS4 games into it and see how enhanced they get and that kind of stuff. I haven't had a chance to do all of that yet.
Does it do haptic feedback?
I put in Ghost of Tsushima, and I have my external hard drive attached to the back and everything.
Oh.
But I don't have my save file. And I need to and I've been trying to figure that out. And I mean, I put in Resi 2, continue game. I put in a few other games, continue game. Ghost of Tsushima, it's starting again. It's not letting me continue game.
So on your PS4, if you upload your save file to the PS Plus cloud, you should be able to download it that way.
And how do you get to the PS Plus cloud? That's the thing I was looking for. How do you get to that on the PS5? Genuine question.
On PS5?
Yeah.
For
PS5.
which now? To get the PS Plus collection?
If I want to get to my no, I have that. If I want to get to the PS Plus cloud to download.
What's in settings?
Is it?
It's in settings and then the save data management. It's exactly the same as PS4.
Okay.
That one is the same.
We'll get there eventually, guys. I thought it was going to be in the PlayStation Plus section, and I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was like, where the fuck is this? But PlayStation Plus collection, that's cool as well, I have to say.
I added every single one of them. I didn't download them, but I added them
added all of them as well. I was like, fuck it, might as well. Add them all.
Yeah. That's mental, like, just to see how many games you have to begin with.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
plenty
like
there.
there's a bunch there that I haven't touched.
Especially if this is someone's first console
Oh, it's an incredible list.
and they
It really
do get
is.
a PS Plus subscription, which at the moment is discounted as well for the next 12 months.
Oh, it's 45, isn't it?
It's 25% off. So you know if you're getting one, you might as well do that. You have Astro's Playroom, and even if you don't buy, say, Miles Morales or Demon's Souls or The Pathless or any of these other games that are actually out right now to play on it, you have Astro's Playroom, and then you can just add 20 other games. Some of them are some of the best games of the last generation. Some of them people could argue are some of the best games ever made, and then some of the rest of them are also really great games. You know, they're not all the best, but like
Yeah.
you know, you've got The Last of Us in there, and you've got Uncharted 4 in there, and you've got fucking God of War in there. Like you're set. You've got loads of fucking games to play. So
And if you like, I think Crash Bandicoot's there as well, which is a good, fun,
the
like,
trilogy.
fun-friendly one as well.
That's 3 games essentially. You actually have 23 games. It's crazy.
It's a good collection. It really is.
It is.
I can't. I'm surprised that others aren't really talking about that. Like they're not praising the PS Plus collection. Like I know it's not as much as like you know.
It's not Game Pass.
It's
right?
not Game Pass, but I feel it's a quality over quantity.
Right. Okay.
Like some of these games are also in Game Pass, but like Game Pass doesn't have God of War, it doesn't have Uncharted, it doesn't have The Last of Us. You know,
No.
it doesn't have Until Dawn.
No.
Like
Yeah.
some of these are some of the best games of last generation.
Yeah. Easily. And I was looking at it, I was going, why isn't Spider-Man and Horizon there? Because like it seems like with certain the games that they picked, like it seems like they would be. I knew nothing of last year would make it in, right? Like you know, they're not gonna put Resi 2 or fucking Final Fantasy 7 remake or Ghost of Tsushima. They're still new and they're still selling. There's no point in putting them in there, right? But then I was thinking about it, I was going, sure they brought out Spider-Man remastered for the PS5, so they're not gonna fucking include it here as well. That would be it would be pointless. And then not sure about the Horizon one. I don't know whether they're going to do some re-release with Horizon. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe they will. Yeah.
Maybe they will.
Maybe. Yeah.
I will say as well, I really enjoyed. I saw it on Spider-Man and I saw it on Astro's Playroom. The Marvel-esque Sony Studios intro.
Yeah, it's very like Marvel, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
But I thought it was cool seeing the different icons
cool.
in the shapes and then it comes together. I was like, wow, the presentation here is. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Top
there's
notch.
definitely a kind of a coherent family now of like instead of it being it was never clear about what studios Sony owned. Like I thought for years they owned Bluepoint. I didn't realize they didn't actually own Bluepoint.
All right, okay.
But so now it's like it's cool to see them all under a single umbrella, and we know now which one is a PlayStation studio.
Yeah. No, it was sick. It was great. I'm blown away. And
Did you try out any of the? Have you tested like the speed of the machine in any capacity?
Not really. Not really. I did. I used the switcher to, which is I suppose similar to the quick resume thing on Xbox. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's as fast. Just from what I've experienced and what I've seen. And I think. Shout out I think quick resume is an awesome feature.
Yeah.
But so I tried switching from Astro's Playroom to Spider-Man just to test it out. But I haven't really even like paid attention to. I've been just so immersed in getting into different games and then putting in one of my PS4 games to see has the save file gone over and how is it all looking and is everything working, that kind of way, that I haven't even like just tested how quick is it when I turn it on. Like I haven't really.
Yeah, it looks like it's. I feel like my TV signal is not fast enough for it. So when I turned it on, right, there is a bit of a black screen, and then when it kind of finally comes in, it's just it's there. But I think it's the signal from my TV trying to communicate back to the PlayStation is just not fast enough.
Yeah.
But I tried fast travel in Miles Morales. Now I think we're all familiar with what fast travel is like in Spider-Man, where you take the underground, and it's like he's just chatting away to someone, or he's like kind of there's an animation of Spider-Man on the tube. But in this, there is none. There is no tube. You just press fast travel and you appear in that location.
Holy shit!
He just
I haven't
walks.
done that yet.
He
'Cause
walks up out of the underground. That's it.
I've only just started the game, really. Like, I'm not far at all. I will say, if you have any knowledge of Spider-Man at all, the story will be spoilt on you immediately. But I'm still excited to see how it plays out. But I'm enjoying it so far, I must say. And yeah, I must try out the fast travel then. That sounds sick. I
Yeah.
must give that a go. Anything else we want to say about PS5 at this time? I mean, we will be talking about it more and more as we go along. This is not like the end of it. This is just the hands-on impressions and first impressions.
Mentioned if you zoom in on again, we're back to the controller because.
Oh yeah.
Fuck
I
the
actually we
console.
put up a picture on our socials, and you can check it out if you want. Maybe I'll include it here. If you're watching this on YouTube, but if you with a macro camera zoom in, like zooming in. I zoomed in at first, just with my camera, couldn't see anything. Had to go macro, and you zoom right in. And yes, there's lots of little details of the actual PlayStation shapes all over the controller. They're really detailed, but super, super small. And it's like that doesn't even need to be there because it's naked to the invisible eye. So that's just like a little love letter hidden in there.
Yeah, I was really shocked by that. I thought they were gonna, because I've seen people sharing them online before.
Yeah.
I knew they were there, but I thought they were going to be a lot more prominent, a lot clearer. And even when you pick up the controller, there's a slight texture for grip, but not like
Yeah,
a
no, it's
lot.
not crazy. No.
So it's almost minuscule. Like it's impressive actually that they managed to print those symbols that small.
Oh, it's insane. I gotta say, the controller feels really comfortable in my hands.
It genuinely feels like
feels
if you
really
took the DualShock 4 and the Xbox One controller and they had a baby.
It's like that. Yeah, I agree.
But then
The
surpassed,
baby,
it surpassed both of them
was
in every way.
genetically enhanced to be super baby.
Super
That's the
baby.
That's the PS5 controller.
Yeah, like it does. Like it feels like a pro controller. You know when you go out and buy, like you get
for a PC.
Well, no, even for the PlayStation, like the pro controllers that were out for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah.
Like it feels like one of them. Like it's really quite a dense controller. It doesn't feel cheap at all. And that was the one thing I was really shocked with. Like I couldn't believe how cheap the controller is.
Well,
like,
I was actually
I know it's after
right?
going out up. It went up in price.
Yeah.
But I think that it could have been more. Like this thing is ridiculous.
That's what I was about to say. Like last gen, I felt the controllers, even though there's a lot of technology in them, I felt they were too expensive because in a way it's like buying a remote for your thing. You have to have it, and it's like, I wasn't particularly impressed by the controller previously. The most impressive thing was that it was fucking wireless. And I had a touchpad. Because it's like vibrations and all that stuff. We've seen that since PS1 and even before that on other things. So this is the first time where I'm like, no, the price is incredibly justifiable. I'm like, this is totally okay. Like, it's like, I remember buying a present for Eric for his birthday. I bought him a controller, right? And it's like, because he wanted a second controller. And because they're so expensive, that's all I got him. But it felt like I hadn't got him much. I felt personally, I was like, oh, yeah, there's just a controller. I was like, I've spent a lot. It's kind of like when you buy someone a Pandora charm. You're like, I spent a lot, but it doesn't look like it. Whereas with this thing is like justifiably fucking.
Yeah, because like as far as I know, it's like, wait, how much is it actually?
70 quid. Yeah, 70.
Yeah.
At least at the moment.
So I think that's still cheaper than the Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And a lot of people praise the Pro controller on the Switch. I always thought it was a pretty damn generic controller. Like, yeah, the battery life on it was good, but apart from that, like, so what? Like, you can get it doesn't actually have any like the haptics, let's say, that you would have in the Joy-Cons or anything like that. And the triggers on it always felt really like just clicky. They didn't actually depress like they do on the Xbox or on the PlayStation. I always thought that was like really overpriced, was the Switch Pro controller. This thing is packed with tech and it's 10 quid cheaper.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I think on a final note, the console is an 8 out of 10. It's good, but
Yeah, actually, what do you think of those type of reviews then?
Well, I
When you
think
hear it
Kotaku had it down
after?
where it's like, sure, it's great, but it's 2020, so should you be buying it? And should you be making yourself happy when other people are miserable? I think I'm like, I mean, I'm blown away by it. I've never experienced anything like haptics before. I know it was on Nintendo now, but I personally hadn't experienced it before, so I'm blown away by it. Yes, the console is huge and ridiculous looking, and the disc drive is a bit stupid the way it's placed. But I am so excited for future games, and there's not that long to wait. Next year's lineup is already ridiculous. Like, there's so many games I want to get.
Yeah.
And I hope they take advantage of the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers. I think the adaptive triggers will be used a lot in terms of shooting and bow and arrow games and all these kind of things. The haptic feedback is something that I really want to see implemented, and yeah, I'm really excited. I given a console rating doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't want to rate it out of 10.
Yeah,
I just
it's
think that's
a bit
stupid
weird.
because it's like you can always get better. In that sense, I'm just like, it's an amazing console, but I'm really impressed by it.
Yeah, it's just, I think, yeah, the only thing is you can fault about it, I guess, is the design. It doesn't have to be aesthetics. I just mean like about trying to fit it within your entertainment system. Like it's difficult. It's
You
difficult
need
to
a
fit it in
whole shelf
seamlessly.
just for it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I can only imagine, I was laughing when I was doing it because I was like, Jesus, if mom saw this now, she'd be thinking, where's that going? You know what I mean?
And
Like,
she will be one.
yeah, but it's that kind of thing. It's like if there's more than just you living in your household, you know what I mean? And if
Yeah.
your partner isn't on board with this huge thing sitting in the fucking living room,
Yeah.
because she's gonna someday have, or he is gonna have guests over, and they're gonna have to explain to their friends what the fuck that thing is. It's a new fancy Dyson air freshener. Yeah. Like,
The size of a fucking PC.
clearly you don't know Dyson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I was
yeah, it's
thinking
just,
of a breeze.
it is huge. There's no way to seamlessly, like, it's like you have to sit it there, and be totally proud. Well, I suppose that's the idea, isn't it? Like,
I
be
think you've
proud,
hit the
be proud of this
I
machine.
think you've hit the nail on the head, actually. I think there's a part of this where it's like, we've designed this in such a way, we know you want it, we know you're going to get it, and now you have to put it up on top of your TV unit beside your TV because it won't fit under it, and it's going to be the talking point of your sitting room.
Yeah, I think so. Imagine what they're going to look like in the future. Like when Naughty Dog gets their hand on this thing, holy shit.
Yeah, what the fuck, like, I
'Cause
can't.
they always push the boundaries of
The graphics,
like the graphics
Yeah.
and stuff.
yeah, and the lighting and stuff. Yeah, I can't wait.
What the next Ghost of Tsushima is going to be like, because that thing already had ridiculous fast traveling. like what the hell?
You're
Like,
just,
this thing,
you're just gonna put the game on, and then it's just gonna be the credits. It's so fast, it's already finished.
it's going to be
Yeah,
so fast,
it's gonna
right?
clear the game for you.
It's going to put you at the other end of the map, wherever you wanted to fast travel to. You're going to be there before you even think about doing it. That's how fucking fast it is.
Super fast.
But I think that the one area that I'm really excited to see next is the VR. Like what the next generation of VR is going to be, because there is definitely going to be a new headset, and there's going to be new controllers and stuff like that. Because
What if they put haptic feedback into the new VR and your fucking head vibrates and shit?
well, it will be in the controllers, definitely.
I know,
It'll be in
it's
the,
gonna be
it'll be in the
crazy.
new controllers.
Because
The thing that's
if
I
they
think
did
that the,
do that,
yeah.
yeah, but like with heavy rain, so you have the little like droplets on your head, just feeling the rain on your face and in your hands.
But I doubt it. I kind of doubt it, just because of like how VR makes people feel sick already. I can only imagine that it'll be
That it
even
was
worse.
torturing method.
Yeah, but it'd be some 6-hack demo though.
Fucking well. You'll be sick everywhere. I feel like that's the two ports on the front of the console. You've got the normal USB for your charge cable, but then there's the USB-C that doesn't seem to be used for anything. I think that's for the next VR headset. Just one cable into that.
Yeah, you know that they've thought ahead. Like that's not there for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Eric, any final thoughts on the PS5 from what you've experienced and what you've seen?
Yeah, it looked really good. Like the menu was really nice looking, but of course I can't really say if the layout of the menu was great because I didn't really understand it from what I was looking at when you were using it.
Right.
But I think when I have it myself, and I'll be able to probably find everything and be able to see if it's. But yeah, no, it's the design is. Like I said it before, it was something sexy as bacon on toast, like, but it's just that fucking disk drive thing is stupid.
The new Sony bacon on toast. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds greasy out, man. Not quite as slick as the machine. Sorry, what were you saying?
But yeah, no, it looks really good. Again, I can't say if it's like the fastest thing ever. I'd need to experience all the stuff you guys are talking about for myself. From what I saw, it looked really good. But like, it's the controller. Like I experienced the controller. The controller was awesome. So I'd imagine they'll use that a lot more for things like Horizon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd be really good.
Looking forward. So those are our thoughts and our first impressions on the PS5, and there's going to be lots more to come. We'll be talking about the PS5 in future and all of the games that come with it. Well, not all the games, but the ones that we play and want to talk about or want to strike up a conversation or discussion about. But if you've been playing it and you're watching us on YouTube, jump into the comments. Let us know what you've been playing, what you've enjoyed, maybe anything you dislike about it. Maybe you don't feel as passionate about it as we do. Do let us know, and if you've been playing Xbox, let us know about that, and we can make up some comparisons between the two. That's always fun as well. I know Digital Foundry, I think, have been releasing their comparisons of the two consoles. They're always fun.
They've been doing God's work, by the way.
Digital Foundry are great. Check them out. You have to. And check us out. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've enjoyed this, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so you know when we're putting out more episodes and more bonus content. And click that notification bell so you know when we put one out, and get into a discussion with us, because that's really what we want. That's what this whole thing is about. We want to talk about this stuff and discuss it with people. And if you're listening to us on audio platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @The Brothers Take, let us know what you think about the PS5. Are you excited about getting one? Have you already gotten one? Or are you after getting an Xbox? Or are you staying out of it altogether and you're saying, fuck this, I'm not helping the corporate machine, it's 2020. Thank you all for listening, everyone, and we'll be back to talk about more video games and gaming related topics next time. Bye bye.
See you now.
Bye.